we go. Oh, okay. A father wanted to read a magazine, but he was being bothered by his little girl, Shelby. And she wanted to know what the United States looked like. Finally, he tore a sheet out of his new magazine on which was printed the map of the United States. So he tore it into little pieces, and he gave it to Shelby and said, now go in the other room and see if you can put it together. This will eventually show you our whole country, our United States. Well, a few minutes later, just a few minutes later, Shelby returned and handed him the map correctly fitted together. The father was surprised and said, how'd you finish this so quickly? She said, well, on the other side of the paper was a picture of Jesus. So when I got all of Jesus back where he belonged, then our country just came together. Out of the mouth of babes, huh? Boy, oh boy. Let's start with the first slide, please. Oh, yeah. If you missed World Day of Prayer, this was the finale, sitting around a fire pit drumming. It was wonderful. I just want you to just see what you missed. Let's go to the next slide. Thank you. Some people will always throw stones in your path. It depends on what you make with them. A wall or a bridge. Remember, you are the architect of your life. I love when I see you all taking pictures of these slides because they're things to remember. Because people are going to throw stones in our way, aren't they? People, places, situations, it goes on every day. And we get to choose whether we want to build a wall or we want to build a bridge. Helen Keller said, I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. I will not refuse to do something that I can do. I'm going to say that again. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. I will not refuse to do something I can do. You know, yesterday was the anniversary of 9/11. We all know what just saying 9/11 means. And former President Bush was addressing some event in Pennsylvania. And I just grabbed an excerpt from this because I just felt, doesn't matter how you feel about President Bush, former President Bush, it is the statement that he made that was, to me, very, very important. He said 20 years ago, terrorists came and chose a random group of Americans on a routine flight to a collateral damage in a horrific act of terror. The 33 passengers and 7 crew on Flight 93 could have been any group of citizens selected by fate. In a sense, they stood in for all. The terrorists soon discovered that a random group of Americans is an exceptional group of people. Facing an impossible circumstance, they comforted their loved ones by phone. They braced each other for action and defeated the design of evil. He said, on America's day of trial and grief, he saw millions of people instinctively grab for a neighbor's hand and rally to the cause of one another. At a time when religious bigotry might have flowed freely, I saw Americans reject prejudice and embrace people of Muslim faith. At a time when nativism could have stirred hatred and violence against people perceived as outsiders, I saw Americans reaffirm their welcome to immigrants and refugees. At a time when some viewed the rising generation as individualist and decadent, I saw young people embrace an ethic of service and rise to selfless action. I recall my experience of that day, and I say, this is the America I know. This is the America I know. So I titled my talk today, Be a Bridge Builder. And some people know what that means, and others of you come here thinking, what is she going to talk about? And I have talked about last week, and I put it out on our Facebook post about the movie Reunited States. It's a documentary. I highly recommend it because it will leave you at the end with hope, and we can all use hope. And at the end of that video, they talk about how we need to come together in building bridges and not walls. What is a bridge builder? It's people who have the courage. If you remember, over the last couple weeks I've been talking about the the vibrational scale from David Hawkins. And courage is the tipping point of going either below into fear or going above and moving into love. So it takes, a bridge builder takes people who have the courage to be pioneers, who are willing to get out of their comfort zone and to have conversations and to try and find common ground. There's a quote, and I don't have the author on this one, but it says, people see God every day. They just don't recognize him. Do you get that? Because I can see about 50 faces of God right here, right now, because it's easy in this sanctuary to recognize God. But go out there in the world, and just somebody cut you off. We forget. We don't see God, but God's right there, right in front of us. Yeah, I think let's go ahead. Can we go ahead with the video? I'm going to preface it before she hits play that I've chosen this segment from a video, and it literally was filmed in Lebanon, Ohio. And one of the people in this video, I believe, might be Timothy Hart's sister. I'm not sure, relative or friend, but doesn't matter. But I want you to understand, this video was not chosen by me to be political in any way, shape, or form. But it's going to look at the political divide that was happened after 2016 and how people who were neighbors now became not speaking to each other. All because you voted that way, I voted this way. So I encourage you to look at this video as to a much deeper level of how this resides in your own heart, not my heart, your own heart, and how it speaks to you about how easily, what judgment does to people. People are talking to people. So even though this was based around the political election, I take this a whole lot deeper because we make judgments every day. We make judgments every day. We make judgments on what kind of car people are driving. We make judgments on people having political signs in their yard. We got November coming up, people. Here comes the signs again. We make judgments on color. We make judgments on clothing. We make judgments on everything. And we build a wall over those judgments of somebody not being like me. So therefore, I create a wall instead of a bridge. I love where she said, what is it? Talking How did she say it? Talking is not underrated. It's so important. If you would have watched beginning, the heavier set guy talking to the man who's a Muslim, of Muslim faith. This guy, ultra conservative Christian, former police officer, farmer, and his situation, his rhetoric before this meeting, and then take somebody on the opposite spectrum and their rhetoric on the conservative side, but still had the same type of rhetoric towards the other one. It's just blows me away. Ask yourself this question. Are we dehumanizing those who don't think, believe, or look like us? I can remember early when I came here, and I would go to meetings, groups, especially when I went to the newcomer class. And when I went to the newcomer class, I would always hear people around the room say, "I'm a recovering Catholic." Kathy, I'm a recovering Catholic. And then I got to thinking about that was making a judgment on Catholics. I was in a Unity church saying I'm non-judgmental, and then I'm saying I'm a recovering Catholic. That's how slick this judgment thing can be. Oh, I could go on that one. We can turn things around if we see each other as human beings without a label. That's hard, isn't it? We were not raised this way. None of us were raised this way. We start learning those types of things in school at really young age. You know, I can remember it was a step-grandchild that I had in a previous relationship. And she was in kindergarten or maybe preschool. And she came home and told her mom and dad that there was a boy in her class that was chocolate. And her mom said, "Well, what are you?" She goes, "Well, I'm a vanilla." She likes, when she gets an ice cream, she always gets the twirl, the twist. Hello? Right? What is a bridge builder? It's people who have the courage to be pioneers. I'm repeating this again because I believe if you come to Unity, it's because you are a bridge builder. You wouldn't be sitting in here. You would be somewhere else where you're being led by somebody on how to believe or how to think or how to be. You come into a Unity church because I don't tell you how to think. I'm just giving you some things to think about and hopefully raise your vibration to be and do better out there in the world. So it's people who have the courage to be pioneers, who are willing to get out of their comfort zone. And trust me, I want to underline that. Because COVID has put so many people in a comfort zone and they don't want to get out. And I'm just saying, just getting out and getting involved. And it doesn't mean you have to be in less than 6 foot distancing circles. But you can give and be a bridge builder from your home. But it means turn the TV off and pick up a phone and call somebody. Call your neighbor if you haven't spoken to them. Call your neighbor even if they voted differently than you. It's about finding common ground. I'll give you an example here at church. We have a committee called the Building and Facilities Team. This Building and Facilities Team is made up of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people on this team. Sandy Malloy or Sandy Schill ends up on it because she's like the stenographer for our meetings, for what takes place. And you hear all the projects that have gone on. Even through COVID, I could list them all. Painting the sanctuary, getting new furniture, new plants, the lobby totally redone, bookstore redone. Oh, now we take on the barn project. Ooh, you want to talk about opposing opinions in a group of 5 people. What color should the metal be? What color should the roof be? Now there's a problem just this week that the gutters that are not the right color, but they match really close. If we want to wait for the gutters to be the correct color, it's a 3 to 4 month wait on back order. Oh, opposing opinions again. Oh, did I tell you? I haven't told you. Oh, as they tore the barn, the siding off, we are infested with termites and biting ants. They called them biting carpenter ants. Yes, so now we got to get exterminated. Do we exterminate? Do we pay the money? Here's the quote. What do you think? What do you think? Here comes threads of text, various opinions. We want cupolas on top. What color should they be? Who's going to build them? This is the barn project. This is reality here at Unity of Garden Park. Having to constantly, we have had more meetings in the last, Steve Schill, can you hear me? We have had how many meetings in the last 2 months, maybe 3 months, whether it's on the phone or whether we have to come in person, meet after church, meet out at the barn, because we have opposing opinions. 4 times. And 5, today will be 5, because we've got some decisions to make. Anybody ever dealt with a contractor before in a major project like a kitchen remodel, bath remodel, building a home? Anybody dealt with that? Okay. I would say 95% of the time, the contractor halfway through or 3/4 of the way through says, well, the costs have gone up a little bit. Or if you want me to fix this, it's going to be this. And now here comes the ding, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Right? Well, that's what's happening here on the barn. And so now we're like, well, we thought he said this. Well, he did say this, but now he's saying that. So 5 people opposing opinions. But what do we keep doing? We keep coming together and we have conversation until we can collaborate together and find the common ground in order to keep this project forward and coming to completion. It's what you hear every Sunday here is about finding what's in common. It isn't hard to do. You know, she also said, somebody said, it's about talking with instead of talking at. Now, that's what we come together and do in our meeting. On the text, I'd say a lot of us are talking at each other because we're trying to force our opinion, right? We have a strong opinion about it. But when we come together, we talk with each other. And it's so important. It's okay to be different. It's okay to have opposing ideas, but realizing we're all still human. Let's do the next slide. Yeah, go to the truth. And the mind, what is it? Go to the truth beyond the mind. Love is the bridge. What is the biggest detriment that we all have keeping us from peace? Your mind. You can say fear, but what causes the fear? Your mind. What causes the judgment? Your mind. Love is the bridge. Oh my goodness, if you could have been in conversation with Barb Frederick the other night and her talking, or the day, it was at the spaghetti dinner when you were talking about love. And it's just, and when we can move to that vibration of love, that's where the vibration of 700 resides. Peace. You will have peace. Let's go to the next one. I like this one. Yes, J.D. Hakes. I like to see myself as a bridge builder. That is me building bridges between people, between races, between cultures, between politics, and trying to find the common ground. Do we have this week's affirmation we can pull up? This is your personal affirmation. Okay, you looking at it? Do you think maybe you could hold on to that for this week and try it? And why we try it? By affirming it to be so. Let's say it together. Ready? I am building bridges of understanding based on forgiveness. Oh, what is it? Love first, forgiveness, tolerance, and patience. Oh, boy. Look at that. Think we can do it? We could set out, to say that. Let's affirm it, right? I am, ready? I am building bridges of understanding based on love, forgiveness, tolerance, and patience. One more time, because you don't sound like you mean it. I am building bridges of understanding based on love, forgiveness, tolerance, and patience. Oh, patience. Woo, that's a tough one. So with that, let's just look at that last one. I'll tell you, I was trying so hard to come up with a visual for you. But you see, when you build a bridge, that's why we don't have 75 bridge fixed between Ohio and Kentucky. Because you can't start from one side and go to the other. It takes both sides having to build this way to build a bridge. And I was just thinking, I was trying to come up with a visual where I could show you that I came up with a stuffed bear and you came up with a teapot. And we both look at each other like, well, that's not going to build a bridge. You have to keep digging in there till you find what's in common and then lay a stone. Then we got to do the same thing until we can come together. That's how a bridge is built. It's not. See, we got it. We've got a perfect example, don't we? Ohio says, well, it's not my responsibility. Kentucky says, not my river. Well, we claim it, don't we? Yeah, well, we claim it over here too, but when it comes to bridges, it's your bridge. I think you built it first. Isn't that an analogy for how we do life? And then we all say this, I know we do. We all say it's going to take till the bridge falls in and there's a major disaster in order for them to build another freaking bridge. How does that happen in your own life? Think about dysfunctional situations in families. Think about situations with the people experiencing homelessness. Think about anyone in your life that it's taken it to completely implode. And even then, do we pick up the bricks and start building the bridge? Or do we still stay there looking at all the fallen pieces and say, well, it's your fault. It's your fault. That's pretty interesting. So with that, I just want you, let's go back to that affirmation again. I want you to really think about being a bridge builder in your life. It's our responsibility as Unity Truth students, as people who claim that the Christ is within me and within every single person, no matter how they act, there's a Christ within them. Are you willing to step out and be more of a bridge builder instead of a wall builder? That's my prayer for all of us this week as I say namaste. The Christ presence in me truly sees and honors that Christ presence in each and every one of you. Namaste.